welcome to my channel. I'm Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. Today's video is a full face of brand new makeup slash kind of Ulta haul. The Ulta in my town just opened up at the beginning of the month, so I went and bought a full face of brand new makeup. There's definitely, as I talk out through the video, some hits and some misses, but if you guys want to see what products I got, what I used, what I liked, what I didn't like, just keep watching and let's jump into it. Let's, I guess, get into the makeup portion. So I bought literally bought an entire face of new makeup from Ulta. I am really excited. I've been thinking about doing this video for quite a while, and the Ulta in my town opened up at the beginning of the month, so I went in and I bought a full face of makeup. So I'm just gonna pull it all out and set it down because I feel like it's gonna be easier than trying to dig through the bag. I bought this little duo set because it was cheaper than buying the individuals, and the powder that's in here I was so intrigued by. This is the Becca Prep and Set Refreshing Kit, and so it comes in a little box with the two little products in this what's this called, tissue paper. So I don't expect these to be full size. Oh yeah, they're definitely not full size. But so for primer, I'm going to be using the Becca First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresher. I haven't really used a whole lot of Becca products before, other than a couple other highlights. And then the other thing that came in that kit was this setting powder, which is called Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. So the reason why I bought this was because I was talking to the girl, and they have it in a full size, and the full size is called like Keep Me Cool, Keep Me Clothes, or Keep Me Clothes, Keep Me Cool, something like that, because this powder turns almost liquid on the skin, and I was so intrigued that I was like, okay, this is the product I need to buy for setting. I need to test this out. I was going to go with like a Too Faced pressed powder to set my face, but I saw that and I was like, okay. And then it came with a primer duo, and so I'm like, I'm going to test it out and buy this instead of the full size in case it's something I don't like. I'm just going to take the primer. Okay, so the primer is definitely tacky, and I don't know if that tackiness goes away, and I don't know that I felt like it blurred anything, and I still feel like I can see my pores pretty darn well, so I don't know. What did it say? It said a primer that brightens and creates a healthy, even skin tone with a natural finish for all day makeup wear. So I mean, it definitely has a slight glow to it, so I guess that would give you kind of the natural, but I really don't know if I feel like it toned the skin or anything like that, like it's saying, but you know. It was kind of cool. It was kind of, it matched the color of the product, kind of a purpley tint to it. But okay, let's get into foundation. So for foundation, I picked up the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation, and then the concealer to go with it. Now when I went in to pick up the foundation, it was actually the last thing I bought. They no longer had the shade that I feel like was perfect for me when I was testing them out on my neck, but I went with the next best one, which was called 10 CP, which is 10 is in the Ultra Fair, and the CP is Cool Pink. So what does this foundation say? It says it's flexible, breathable, real skin matte finish, medium buildable coverage, does not transfer, which would be amazing because, I mean, every time I hug my husband, he gets half my face on his shirt. Minimize the appearance of pores, stays true to color, waterproof, vegan formula, does not contain animal-derived ingredients or byproducts. So I really liked their packaging for Good Things Happen When You're Naked. That's cute. For their Stay Naked line, it's very sleek, smooth, and then you've got this really cool kind of indent in there that I really like. I love the gold cap, and I'm pretty sure that the concealer looks basically the same. Remember right, it was just like a square container. Yeah, just a square container. And I got my concealer in the shade 20 Neutral Neutral, which, or NN, 20 NN, which is 20 Neutral Neutral, which when I was checking out foundations, the 20 NN foundation was what seemed to work the best for me, but this is what they had. So I picked up a new beauty sponge. This thing is freaking huge. Like, I don't know if you can tell how big this thing is, but I mean, literally it covers like my cheek. It's huge. I'll compare it to, obviously this one's not been wetted down, but this is the difference between the ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting sponge. And I did buy this one, I don't know if I said, is one of the e.l.f. Like multi-purpose setting sponges. So this is what it looks like when it's not wet, which is a big one. I mean, it's bigger than this one. I feel like the size of this one not wet is the size of this one when it is wet. And then look how freaking big it gets when you wet it down. It's huge. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing's huge. It's massive. But I kind of love it. I feel like it's going to do a really nice job of getting your face covered. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the foundation. I'm just going to use the big flat end. Give it a few. I don't know how many pumps I need. I'm just going to give it a few good pumps there and work it on the skin. We'll see how that goes. So right away, I feel like this shade is a little light for me, but like I said, I had to go with one that wasn't my perfect shade, but we'll see if it kind of oxidizes a little bit. I mean, the foundation itself has some pretty darn good coverage, like pretty much instantly covered all my redness, all that, you know, acne and texturing I've got going on right now. Working with this huge sponge is, I think, going to take a little bit of getting used to. Like, how often do you work with a tool that's this big? So I'm just going to work it down the jawline because I want to kind of cover the fact that the shade might be a little light. Although working it down the jawline, it really doesn't look that light down there. I'm gonna add another pump for the underside though. Okay, so I do feel like it may be a tad light, but I'm sure once we bronze up and everything, it'll be fine. I like the coverage. I feel like it's got really good solid coverage. I wouldn't call it, you know, full coverage, but I do think that you maybe could layer it to get a really full coverage. But it has a nice kind of natural finish, I feel like. What did it say about finish? What do I do with the box? So it has a real skin matte finish, and I feel that because I don't look real dewy or glowy, but I don't look that extreme flat matte where you're like, okay, I need, you know, my skin just looks so artificial because it's, you know, so matte. I think it looks good. So let's go ahead and use the concealer. And this just has a, kind of a funky shaped little doe foot applicator there. It's kind of curved. I don't know how you can see that. Kind of curved weirdly. But I mean, it seems to work. So this definitely feels like it's got a pretty thick consistency to it. But I feel like I have to dip in quite a bit, maybe because I'm just getting way too much. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and blend her out. So I think I like that concealer. I feel like those colors look pretty good together. I definitely look a little pale right now. Now I bought a new tool for baking, I guess is what I saw this. I actually saw Alex from Learning to Be Fearless. She tried this out. This is a Real Techniques micro powder sponge. So it's actually got like these little tiny microfibers. It's kind of velvety, and it's supposed to be for setting powder. And I have, other than baking, I do not use a I do not use a sponge for baking. So this is going to be interesting, but I'm going to go in with that Becca Hydra Mist Set Refreshing Powder. So, oh, that was a lot. I tipped a lot into the lid, but I'm just going to use this sponge. I did not wet it down. I do not know if you're supposed to. It didn't say. Okay, so that is so weird. It's definitely powder. I mean, look at it. It's powder, straight up powder. And then you apply it on and it turns like wet. I don't know, it feels wet. Like, this is so weird. Like, look, you can see where it's set. It just has this really smooth, velvety look to it. And I think that's the setting powder. I don't know. We'll have to test it out more with this. We'll be testing both these products out differently throughout my channel, so stick around for that. So I'm at the point where I'm going to do my brows, and I did not buy a new brow product because I love my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. I use the shade Taupe, so I'm just going to go ahead and toss my brows on, and I will be right back. Alright, so my brows are on. It was kind of a rough time. But that concealer, I felt like at first when I started using it, I did not know if I liked it for concealing my brows. But then it started working like I liked it. It's actually a really creamy and smooth, fairly thick consistency. So I think it did a good job concealing the brows. But now we're going to move into the eyes. I'm just going to go ahead and buff out my concealer creases in my lids. I bought a new eyeshadow palette. This is the Warrior 2 by Juvia's. I never know how to say this, but I knew I wanted to buy one of her palettes. I had never used any of her products before, but like her palettes are just so pretty, and I probably spent 15 minutes staring at her palettes trying to decide which one to get, and I ended up settling on the Warrior 2 because I felt like I would probably use these shades more and I could create a full eye look. Some of them are really pretty and vibrant, and I'm like, I would love to have some of those shades, but like I don't feel like I could create one, you know, a full eye look with one of those palettes. So the Warrior 2, it's more of a neutral palette. It's really, really pretty, and I just felt like I could create some actual full looks with these. So I'm going to start with the shade called Zazz, which is the kind of creamy white vanilla-y shade. And I'm going to set my lids. Next I'm going to go in the shade either Kana or Canna, and it's kind of the light brown taupey shade, and I'm just going to work that into the crease. This will kind of function as our transition color, kind of our crease shade here, and then we'll just build up from that. Going with the shade called Dara. It's kind of a mauve-y, rosy shade, and I'm going to work that right over top of that shade that we just laid down. Next, I'm going to take the shade right in the middle called Zama, and I'm going to pack that down onto the lid. I'm going to take the original brush that we used with the taupey color, and I'm just going to kind of buff everything together. It's just going to give us everything a nice seamless look. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade called Kufaru. It's the really dark chocolatey brown in the in the palette. And I'm gonna work that right on the outer corner. Just to add some depth in there. Then I'm gonna take just a blending brush and I'm just gonna give everything a nice good blend. Really buffing that darker shade out. I feel like we lost some of that original kind of peachy shade, which was called Dora. And I'm just going to go back in and buff that into the crease a little bit more. I really like that shade, and when we lost it, I kind of got a little sad, so I just build that up a little more. Sticking with that same shade, Dora, got a little tongue roll there, Dora. I'm going to go and smoke out the lower lash line. Really like that, looks really pretty. So I'm gonna go, excuse me, set that palette aside for a minute. I think I want to go back into the skin, and we'll come back to the eyes and finish up with some mascara and some lashes in a little bit. But let's go back into the skin. So I'm gonna take that same Becca setting powder, and I guess I'm gonna do, well, first I want to buff away the excess baking, I think. And I did buy a new this is a Real Techniques powder for powder and bronzer. So just a powder brush. This is just a big, nice, fluffy, soft powder brush. I'm just going to go and sweep away any of the excess baking. Now I'm going to do one side of my face with the brush and one side of my face with that new sponge to see if it makes some sort of difference. So let's start with the sponge side. So I'm just going to use what I have in the cap because I have a lot. Now this has a kind of a weird spongy, clothy like filter over it or strainer over it. I don't know what you want to call it. So I'm going to take that sponge and I'm just going to read the package and see. Seamlessly apply setting, bronzer, highlight, blush powder for a flawless finish. Rounded sides for blending, flat edges for baking, pointed tip for coverage. Use damp or dry with powder. So honestly, I probably wish I would have wetted it down first but I don't know. Let's just go. I just took quite a bit. I don't know how much I need. I'm gonna just set this side. It's so weird. Like, it's powder, but it feels wet. Like, I'm so thrown. I know that's how it's supposed to be, but like, what? It's so weird, you guys. And it doesn't really have any coverage to it as far as color goes. And I feel like if this, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting kind of a splotchy texture from the sponge. It's probably maybe because I didn't wet it. Maybe it's the powder. I don't know. I feel like I can see a little individual. So let's go ahead. See, I feel like that right there made it better. So I'm just going to take this brush, pick up the powder. I mean, it's powder. You can see that. And I'm just going to go in and set my face. Now I am stippling or blotting. I'm not buffing or rubbing. I'm literally just patting the brush onto my skin. I'm going to go back over this side because I don't love how it looked after I used that sponge with the powder. I do feel like my skin has a really nice, soft look to it. I do feel like, I don't know if it's the powder or the foundation, something I do feel like minimized the amount of pores. But I feel like weirdly now I'm getting a little bit of texture, sorry, blotchiness from my foundation underneath, but I can't tell if that's from using the sponge, a setting sponge, or under my eyes. Like, do you see that right in here? I feel like there's kind of a color difference. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm seeing, if that's just the way the light's laying, you know, playing with it, if that's the foundation, if that's the setting powder, if it was the sponge. Well, I don't know. But let's go ahead, let's move on. Won't worry about it right now. We'll kind of see in the end how everything comes together. So let's bronze up. For bronzer, I got another Urban Decay product. This is the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer in the shade Bronzed, I believe. Yes. Seriously, people? Now somebody's running a weed whacker or something out there. I am so sorry if you can hear those. I apologize. I'm just going to be using my Aesthetic P12 brush. And I love the packaging. It's super cute. It's got the palm tree on it. And it's got a nice mirror. And then the product. I'm just going to go ahead and work this on. Oh, I feel like I should probably actually be using this, but I don't know that I want to now. I'm just going to go and take the sponge, the side of it, I guess, I don't know, the side into the bronzer, which, wow, that was a lot of bronzer. I feel like I'm gonna regret that. And I'm just gonna work it. Ooh. Oh no. Okay, powder, so we can work that out, right? Okay. So I'm just using the other end, and actually that did blend it out pretty well. I was a little worried there for a moment. Ugh. Okay. Now I'm gonna try the other side. I don't know what's the right way to do this. I'm going to pack it on with product like I did before and then use the other edge to kind of buff that out. And I don't put a lot of bronzer on my forehead because I have a small forehead, but I do some just to kind of, I don't know, do the whole face, I guess. Like, I feel like my forehead would just look weird if I didn't have any sort of extra cover, you know, color to it. So the sponge does buff out pretty well, and I'm mostly just buffing. I'm not really doing a lot of rubbing. Okay, so the bronzer itself is actually really pretty. I really like the color of the bronzer, but I don't know how I feel about this brush. I feel like or that sponge. I feel like I want to go back in with my brush and just buff it. I think I'm a brush girl. Maybe part of it's just mental. Like, I'm having a hard time getting over the fact that I'm trying to use a sponge to do my powder, and like, I don't do that. I don't know. I'm loving that shade. It works really perfect for my skin, I think. Now I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose real fast using the bronzer. I feel like that made a really pretty nose contour. Curious to see what the edge would do for that. Just feel like this sponge is dragging my foundation. It's probably not, it's probably just a mental thing, but like, I feel like that's what it's doing, is I'm just dragging my foundation with it. Having a hard time with that. So maybe we'll do another video where I wet this down and this is the only thing I use. I don't know, we'll see. I have a lot of new things we're testing out today. So for blush here, I bought a Tarte, one of their Amazonian Clay 24-hour blushes, which I have seen people use these for years. I've never bought one, but I absolutely love Tarte, so I don't know why it's taken me so long to buy one, other than I feel like it was one of the more pricey items that I bought. But I got it in the shade Risque. It's this really pretty nude purpley, almost has kind of a purpley mauve hue to it. I don't know, it's really pretty. I'm just gonna take my brush here. That's really pretty. It's so soft and subtle. It blends into this bronzer so well. I really like that. I've never tried one of the, I mean, look at the difference. Like, it didn't really seem like it laid a lot down, but when you get between the two sides, you can actually see how really pretty that is. I didn't have a blush quite this color, which is why I went for it. Oh, on the nose. It's just really pretty, you guys. I'm gonna add a little on the forehead too, because why not? I like this blush a lot. Like, and I feel like it looks really good with this whole look. We kind of have like a peachy, neutral vibe going, and I feel like that blush really looks good with it. For highlight though, I've never bought a Kylie product before. So I actually bought 2 Kylie products. I bought her highlight, and this is in the shade Quartz. This is the Kylight, actually. And then I bought one of her Kylie lip duos in the shade Kylie. So this has just got really pretty shiny pink packaging, and it says Kylie across the front. And then it's just this really light, it's called Quartz. It has kind of almost a yellow hue to it, but it was just a really pretty, super light highlight. And I like the lighter highlights because I'm such a fair person. If I get too much bronze or, you know, golden tones in them, they can look too dark on me. So I usually go for the ones that are more champagne-y or have a slight pink hue to it, or just really light. The one I wanted to get, they didn't have. It was kind of more of a white. So this is pretty. It's not an extreme highlight though, which I would have thought with Kylie. I feel like her stuff is, I don't know, I feel like everyone always talks about her highlights being pretty bomb, and I feel like this is a pretty soft highlight. I'm going to switch to a different brush and see if that makes a difference. Well, it's a little more dense. So it's pretty. It's just, I feel like I'm not getting a whole lot of pigment from it. Like, a lot comes off of my hand there. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's one of those products you kind of have to work off the first layer. I'm just gonna use my finger. See, but even doing that, like, I just don't feel like much is coming off my finger. Kylie, I don't know about this. Like, I just don't feel like I'm getting a whole lot of payoff from this highlight. Not like I expected. And maybe it's the shade I got. Maybe I got something too light, or it just doesn't, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you feel like I got a good highlight here, or do you feel like I got gypped? And I feel like, so this brush had some highlight from other highlights I've used, but like, look what it did to the product. Like, it's, the product is picking up more color off my brush than it's putting on, I feel like. Like, I don't get anything on the Cupid's bow. Like, I don't understand. I mean, granted, these weren't brand new clean brushes, but like, what? This might be a product I take back, to be honest. Like, I'm not loving this at all. Like, it's just not me. I don't know. It's just too soft. I feel like it's not, I'm not getting, I mean, that looks like I got a lot of product, but then like nothing. I feel like, to me, and I don't know, you guys may feel differently, that I'm like, I'm not getting hardly any highlight like I would expect. So I don't know how I feel about this highlight. I don't know. I was going to use that for my inner corner highlight, so let's just do it because we're here on the inner corner. Like, I just feel like I'm not getting any product off of that. I don't know. Do you guys feel that way? There we go, a little bit. That took 2 coats. I'm just so torn because I wanted to love this highlight. Like, I expected to go in loving this highlight, you know? And I'm not. I'm really, honestly disappointed in this highlighter. Let me know what you guys think down below. Maybe you think it looks good and I'm just being harsh on it. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Set my face. I picked up the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I know that they had the Jeffree Star one, but I just picked up this one. I feel like they were out of the Jeffree Star one. I like that continuous mist. It just made me feel like I was being showered with setting mist. It's gonna have like a rose petal-y smell to it, which isn't my favorite, but you know. I feel like it set really well. It covered really well. It had a really pretty fine mist that just felt really good, actually. So I like that. Let's finish off our eyes. I picked up the NARS Climax Mascara. I have heard good things about this mascara. So, oh, it's got a nice thick hourglass brush, which kind of reminds me of the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. But let's just go ahead. Okay, okay. Alright, you guys, I really like this. I mean, that was just like one basic coat, and I feel like it looks really pretty good. And my lashes don't look clumpy. I feel like that's the issue is with a lot of mascaras. You put them on and they just like clump your lashes together. And this, I don't feel clumpy in these. But I'm also going to go ahead and coat the bottom lashes as well. So I got, for lashes, the Kiss Lash Couture Faux Mink Collection in the style Gala. They look really wispy and thick and pretty. I don't know if you guys can see, but these lashes have like multi layers to them, almost kind of 3D, which I know that Kiss has the 3D lashes, but I did not think that these were in that collection. Again, I'm so sorry about the lawnmower guy. While he's being obnoxious, I'm gonna go and toss my lashes on and I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, you guys, these lashes are so intense, but they're really pretty. I mean, they're just so wispy and thick and gorgeous. I really, really like these lashes, but man, they are intense. Let's go ahead and move on to, I think this is our last step, the lips. Like I said, I got one of the Kylie lip kits in the shade Kylie. The guy with the dang lawnmower. So it's just kind of a really pretty nude pink color. So I'm gonna start by lining my lips. Okay, so it's a little more brown than I feel like it looks like, but it's still really pretty. It's a really creamy, smooth, buttery lip liner. Like, I really love the texture of it. Alright, now I'm gonna go in with the lipstick. Okay, so the lipstick is a lot pinker than the lip liner. No, I guess the lip liner is supposed to be darker, right? It smells really good. Kind of like cupcakes. It kind of smells like cupcakes. I actually really like this lip combo. It's really pretty. And it definitely has a very natural look to it. Alright guys, so here we have it. This is an entire face of brand new makeup from Ulta. We definitely had some hits and we definitely had some misses. And I will kind of continue to work with these products on my channel to see if I get different results from them. My favorite products were definitely the lip kit. I loved the mascara. I think it'll be perfect for days when I'm not throwing lashes on. The blush was perfect for this look, and so was the lip color. I also really like the palette. I think I can create a lot of everyday glam looks with that palette. As far as products, I'm not sure about the setting powder. I'm gonna have to play with that more. I do feel like it did give my skin a nice, smooth, pretty finish, but I don't know if that's the foundation, if that was the brush, if that was the, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to play with the powder more. I'm for sure gonna have to play with the foundation and the concealer more. I do feel like I got some weird spots that didn't cover, but like I said, it may have been the sponge. And the sponge was the other thing that I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I will be doing another video with this sponge for sure. I'm gonna wet it down and do a full face with this to see if I can get different results, if I like it, if I hate it. But overall, I do like the way this look turned out. The product I loved the least, the product I did not like, I am not happy with, was the Kylight. In the shade, this is again in the shade Quartz. I just don't feel like it gave me that glow like I was expecting, like I was hoping for. So this I may return. I may try it another time or two, and if it still is just not something I like, I'm gonna send back. I'm gonna take it back to Ulta. Overall, like I said, I like the way this look turned out. I think it's really pretty. These lashes were super intense, but it's still really fun. Let me know what you guys think about this look, and if you guys have tried any of these products, and if you liked them, or if there's a trick for the Kylight that I'm just not getting at. I don't know. Let me know, you guys. Let me know down below. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button to see more of my videos and to see me using more of these products in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye.